with an MMO, you can create your character, you can progress that character, and even though you don't necessarily have to play with other people, you still see other people in that world. All right, so we got a banger of a topic in today's video, and probably a controversial topic as well, which is on why do people play MMOs solo? I feel like if you're a MMO gamer and you say that you prefer to play a MMO solo, it's almost kind of seen as like blasphemy for some reason, and I'm not really sure why. Like, I would love to see the actual numbers on like the percentage of people who would rather play solo versus playing in a group. Let me know down in the comments on like what you prefer. Do you enjoy playing group content like with more than like 4 people, or would you rather just kind of solo play and not really have to worry about group play? So let me know down in the comments. Now, me personally, I think a good MMO should have a good blend between like the two, right? Between solo and party play. Like for instance, if you want to progress your character solo, then you could do that. Or if you want to progress your character with group content, then you could do that as well. I think strictly having just one and not the other just overall, really hurts the MMO. Me personally, I probably swing more towards the solo player aspect just because realistically, I have maybe about an hour or, maybe if I'm lucky, maybe 2 hours to play. So I'm like really limited on my ability just to even like be able to coordinate group content or just play with friends because my schedule is like all over the place, right? Especially with being a dad. But let's take a look at this Reddit post I thought was really interesting. MMO solo players who used to play with friends but now mostly play solo. Why do you play solo? I don't know if others out there are like me, but I used to play with friends and meet people and make friends. It was really fun on RuneScape, WoW, and other games back in the day. Eventually, my gaming buddy stopped playing and I was looking for new games myself. Past 15 years or so, I've kind of played solo. I tried joining clans or groups, but it didn't feel the same. I essentially just play solo now, but I always kind of feel left out. Wish I had a group to play with, but at the same time, I feel like I don't want the pressure, responsibilities of having friends / clan. I don't feel like I could become best friends or have as great of a time as I did with my original gaming buddies. I've joined clans a lot, but I've always felt empty now, and I accept friend requests and quest with random people, but it never sticks around. Very hard to find new friends, lol. When I don't solo MMOs, I often like playing at MOBAs or FPS games now where they put you in a game with others to chat / play with. But I do miss the best friend / running with my own friends vibe. Always imagine how much more fun we'd have messing around and stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's a really, really solid post. This individual has a pretty unique perspective. Like for them, it's not really like the schedule aspect or the limited time to play like me, but more so, I guess, on kind of the feeling of just trying to get or find new friends and like playing with them for like a certain time period, and then it just kind of all falls apart, right? Which can be exhausting, and I can definitely see how that would be, even more difficult if your original gaming friends, which I'm assuming for this individual was maybe his in real life friends, which they didn't really specify in the post, but either way, I can definitely see how that would be difficult. But let's take a look at some of the comments down below and kind of see what other people's perspectives are. Ditch hair loss in 2025. Nice. Well, I think I have some hair still left on my head, so I'll pass on that. I like having other players around. It makes the world feel alive, but I can't commit to a fixed play schedule. That's all. I don't have great expectations of making lifelong friendships or etc. Yeah, I think this person makes a pretty good point that I feel like resonates with me is even though it's an MMO, right? And it's massive multiplayer online. However, there's something about playing in a game when it feels alive, right? And I think that that's what makes MMO really unique too, is because there's so many players around, and it gives that just full world immersion aspect to it. And you play, say, like The Witcher. It's a great game, but like for me, I could never really like fully get into it because I felt like, why am I progressing my character when I can't really show anyone else my character except for me? But with an MMO, you can create your character, you can progress that character, and even though you don't necessarily have to play with other people, you still see other people in that world, right? And whenever you do want to play with someone, then you can show off that character. And I feel like that is such a massive like point for me, is it just makes the world feel alive. And I totally 100% agree with that aspect. Can't commit to a fixed play schedule. And I mean, that's, I think that's a lot of people, right? A lot of commitment, especially as you get older, family, work, whatever it may be, or your friends, family, work. Like, it's just so hard to always coordinate schedules around that. Exact same story here. Seeing other people in your game makes it feel alive, but I don't want to play what my guild wants on a schedule. Nothing worse than craving some chill time, but knowing you have to progress raid tonight with your guild from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. 7 p.m. to 9 a.m. Yeah, that'd be a long time. Yeah, and I think that's also another kind of core aspect for me too. Again, it goes with the whole coordination of scheduling around people. But like even like Node Wars, right? Like my main MMO is Black Toes Online. I would consider it a very, very solo friendly type of game. I actually made a video on that quite a few weeks ago on BDO being a really solo friendly game. But, with BDO, it also has group play. It's not the greatest, right? But there are like Node Wars, right? And with Node Wars, it's usually at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And like for me personally, I always felt like I just couldn't really fully commit to Node Wars. And so like finding a guild, I wanted to do Node Wars, but I didn't want to have that commitment, right? So I always would try to find a guild where they didn't like require Node Wars, right? Because a lot of guilds are like, oh, you got a Node War on this day, this day, this day, right? But fortunately, I was able to find some guilds where I was like, yeah, Node Wars aren't mandatory. This is when we try to do it. If you can make it, that's great. And I think that experience is really important, like especially if you are kind of like a solo type of player, finding a guild that kind of matches that perspective. But yeah, I always was like, gosh, because when you get into that commitment aspect, it almost becomes more of like a chore, right? And becomes more of like work, when gaming should really just be fun, right? It's a way to just have fun, de-stress a little bit, especially after a long day of work. And then, you come home, if you have kids, right? You have to take care of the kids, feed them, play with them, get them ready. And then, when everything's just kind of chill, you're ready just to chill. And so, yeah, I feel like that's also another key important element to the whole solo aspect. Exactly. I joined a guild in WoW for progression raids after about 2 weeks. I was like, man, I don't feel like doing this tonight. I want to play this other game. So I decided then that I was done with clans and scheduled raids and such. Yeah. Back when I was raiding 2 hours on a raiding night was a failure because you gave up really early. 7 to 11 at least, unless too many left for the night. That's a long time. That's such a long time. Even like I've never done, like BDO has like sieges, I think on Saturday or something like that. And I've never really cared to do that because I think isn't it like 3 hours long or something like that? Like there's no way, like I don't even have the attention span to even do that for 3 hours. So, I mean, kudos to y'all that can do that. But I mean, that's a long time. I went through 4 hours raiding sessions in the Wrath of Lynch King. Those are not fond memories. Let's see. I've never considered this. You're absolutely right. And this is how I feel playing solo, which is how I play 90% of the time. Thank you. Same here. That's exactly why I play MMOs. Exactly, out of curiosity. Other similar people, what MMO are you currently playing? Let's see. World of Warcraft for the first time 5 days ago. Wow, for the first time. That's crazy because, you know, World of Warcraft is like considered the king of MMOs. So it's crazy. That's the first time ever playing World of Warcraft. Wow. Playing in Classic era, but I also like to play Lineage 2. Old school RuneScape. That's a really good game. This person has Black Desert Online under their thing. That's kind of cool. Same here. I would just add that I like MMOs being live services, so they receive updates, events, seasonal events like Halloween or Christmas. It just makes the game more interesting than if it was a never-changing game like solo games are. That's a good point too. That's actually a really good point. Yeah, like various events in game. Yeah, that's a really good point. It's weird how many people don't understand this. Some people want to play alone, but they don't want to feel like there's nobody else around. It's like when I walk my dog, I'm not looking to socialize, but if I go the entire walk without seeing anyone else, it feels weird, empty, and alone. So true. It's so true. And I feel like a lot of people have this conception, like with an MMO, you have to have group play. You always have to play with other people. But if we look in like our own personal lives, right? Like we go to the grocery store, unless you're like an extreme extrovert, which I feel like most people really aren't. It's not like you're going out of your way and saying hi to everyone in the grocery store, right? Usually you just go get your groceries, you get your things, you check out, and you probably don't say anything to anybody. And then just go home and you live your life, right? So you're kind of in your own solo mode in real life, and there's just people around you. I've never had friends in MMO. My real friends don't play MMOs. I like having other players around and see funny message logs. That's all. Yeah. Chat is so funny. That's another thing too with MMOs. Like you have the global chat, the world chat. And so reading those, I tell you, sometimes it can just make your day. Other times it can also just make you shake your head. But either way, depression. Depression. Yeah, me personally, I've fought with depression for many years, mainly throughout my younger days, and depression is such a real thing. If you do have that depression, then being able to confide into someone, right? Just seeking out someone to talk to is so important, so important. So yeah, if you have depression, seek help. It's a serious thing. So hopefully this person is okay. I'm weirdly introverted online, mostly because we all know how weird people online tend to be. I have always been a lone wolf in online games. Unfortunately, I want so bad to break this, but people are so weird, toxic, whatever. That's also a really good point this person also makes. Like, you just never know with people online, like especially like toxicity. It's for some reason, whenever you get people online, they think or say or do whatever they think they can do, right? Because it's online and there's like no repercussions on that. However, however, they would never say that stuff in real life, right? For the most part, I would assume. So it's kind of that weird dynamic where you have like person A who's completely different in real life, but then 180 difference when they're online. It's very odd. It's like a two personality type of person. But yeah, I mean, you see it quite often. It's nice to see someone else feel like this too. I'm no expert in the high-end content in some games. I'm so internally worried I do something wrong in a raid and get crushed by everyone else playing. I want to branch out and do more group play, but I'm always so worried I'll end up with jerks that will make me regret doing it for not being perfect at all. Yeah, and and bullying, right? Bullying is such a hateful and mean, disgusting thing in real life. And that takes effect in online too. Right? And again, it goes back to that whole conception of like people are more of a jerk or more of a bully online because again, there's really not that repercussion. But at the end of the day, like words hurt, right? Words hurt. And just being like disgusting and hateful to someone, even though it's online, like it, it can really affect someone mentally, right? So it's just a shame. That's true, but I can definitely give some hope from my experiences, and sure, it also depends on the game. Yeah, the game's pretty important too. I hear this. I was legit nervous to chat in Discord servers for fear of getting banned or something because some mods can be absolutely power trippy. I'm not a troll either. I found you have to put yourself out there, then it becomes easier. Finding neat communities helps too, as not everyone is for everyone, even if it seems like it's on its face. I think that pretty much losing autonomy has made it feel like there's more skin in the game. Yeah, because I'm unreliable. Yeah, I would say I'm pretty unreliable too. As a teenager, I used to flake on people all the time without batting an eye. Then I started realizing that is annoying to people, very, very much. So I started only committing to party play when I knew I could stay for the whole mission. If I wasn't sure, then I wouldn't join. Yeah, I mean, that's respectable. And due to my poor time management skills, this meant I was simply joining less and less often until eventually I completely stopped. Nowadays, the only way for me to play with a friend is by setting a date 2 weeks in advance and noting it down in my calendar. Dude, that is seriousness right there. Like, that is legit. Yo, if we're gonna play, I need a 2-week advance. All right. I need to know the date, the time, where to meet in game. That's crazy though. But I mean, that's life, right? Just if you have a really busy life, maybe you work on the weekend, maybe you work during the week, maybe you have kids, right? Maybe you're taking care of your parents or something like that, right? Like there's so many different factors that play into someone's schedule. Obviously for this person, they're really busy. Let's see. 90% of MMOs aren't designed to be played with the same people consistently. For example, most MMOs will want you to do daily dungeons. You don't know if or when your friends are coming online. If it's just 1 or 2, then sure, you can coordinate, but doing that every day is also annoying. But getting 5 friends or more to do daily dungeons every day is just impossible. So true. So true. Which I guess, again, if it's your actual like friends, that's a lot more difficult. If you're in a more active guild, I guess it's possible, right? You're not necessarily playing with the same people. You're just playing with different people in the same guild. But yeah, coordinating like 5 friends is so difficult. So instead, you do it for the chat system. Yep, looking for a group. Same with pretty much anything else that isn't weekly, like raids. And since it's daily, once you've done it, you don't want to do it again with your friends that day because you won't get any rewards. That's a valid point. When I play MMO with friends, we're basically each playing solo 90% of the time, and we just talk together on Discord. And I think a lot of people do that, right? Even though like I tend to be more solo, like yeah, I'm always down to like chill in Discord and talk to people. The only thing is like if I'm like truly playing solo, just do like BDO, like if I'm just grinding, I'll just put like a TV show up and just do like my hour grind and just watch a TV show like I'm trying to catch up on or something like that. Let's see. That's how all of us get the most progress rewards from the game because we're all different points in the game. One guy needs to run dungeons, other guy needs to run PvP, other one has already done both for today. Yep. Exception to this would be something like Albion, where you can do anything with anyone anytime. Yeah, that was I haven't played Albion in I feel like it's been quite a few years, honestly, but I had fun when I was playing it. And like this person said, you can kind of play kind of with whoever, whenever. They're not playing anymore. I'm not really interested in making friends in games. I usually don't stick around for more than a few months at a time. And I think this person makes a really good point. Like even like if you have friends, it's almost like like, okay, they're gonna play for maybe a couple weeks, maybe a month, maybe 2 months at max, and then they're just gonna peace out and go play another game or not play anything at all. So it's always kind of hard to play with the friends because of that aspect. Mostly solo here. I don't like waiting for other people. They slow me down. When I play, it's for 1 to 2 hours. I just don't want to waste 30 minutes waiting for people. I will still do group stuff occasionally, but prefer mostly solo. I do really enjoy global chat though and participate in that. Oh, I also don't like being a Discord voice. I hate it. Because I've grown older, my schedule is unstable due to real life obligations. My gaming time is a shadow of what it was, and my main gaming time is Saturday and Sunday around 7 a.m. This man games, or female, man or female, games super early, 7 a.m. I guess that's not super early, but makes me wonder if they have kids. My kid's like waking up at 7 a.m. All right, ready to go. Maybe this person's kids, or if they do have kids, is older. They don't wake up until like 9. That would be the dream. I play solo when I want things done on my own time, schedule, or terms. I play with others when I want group content done. Both have their pros and cons, of which you've listed a lot of them out already. Bottom line is social interactions are a lot of give and take, and sometimes you have to reach out of your own comfort zone to establish connections with others, which I truly believe a lot of solo players struggle with doing because they fear the idea of rejection by others. I don't know. With me being more of a solo player, like I don't feel being out of comfort to reach out to other people to play. Like I can care less about being rejected by others or whatever it is, and being like afraid to talk to other people, right? Like I do YouTube content. I have people, come in when I'm streaming. We're chatting it up. They'll sometimes join me and we'll do group content together, right? So, as long as you're a cool person, like I'm down to play with you. I don't know. It's hard to tell like what the actual research on that really shows, or like what the actual numbers show on that. But that would be interesting to see. But, to say a lot of solo players struggle, the fear of rejection, I don't know. I don't know what the percentage of that would be. It's a process, but one that needs to be done if people ever want to break out of the solo mindset. Yeah, I mean, I kind of see what this person's saying again, but I don't really think that's like the prime reason of being solo is like being afraid to reach out to talk to people. I think and again, I don't know what the numbers are, but I just feel like it's just hard to coordinate with friends. It's hard to coordinate with a group of people based on when you can play. Most of my friends don't play MMOs, and if they did, our schedules rarely sync up to play together. I don't mind jumping into group content with people. I do quite a lot of PvP, but I just don't care to make friends with online strangers except in rare instances. It's a fair point. Yeah, I feel like I have a few friends that play MMOs, but yeah, not really. A lot of people play FPS games like Call of Duty, right? I feel like the MMO breed is I don't know if it's dying, but it's definitely more of a aging generation, right? The younger kids are into more of the, battle royale, FPS, quick pace, short attention span type of games. So like I've tried to get my younger brother, which he's like in his early 20s, to try to play MMOs, and he gets into it for a little bit, but then he goes back to playing shooters, right? So I think it's probably just more of like a generation type of aspect too. I'm going to get my son though really early playing MMOs. Yep, he's going to be liking that a lot. Me and him, we're going to be exploring together. Dad and son gaming life. He's like, "Come on, Dad, let me play my shooter game." Ay. This is the problem of this day. MMOs does not deserve the RPG anymore, by the way. Solo. You level alone. You do this alone, like boring stuff like World Quest. The ground skeleton of these days, MMOs, is just bad and boring. They are created around instance, boring raids, dungeons you repeat every day for day, repeat day for day. There are no good alternatives like spots where you could grind good stuff. Most have no housing. I love DAOC back in the day. I don't even know what that is. It was a very social game where you needed other people for literally everything, and that should be the essence of an MMO. If you want to play solo, go play a single player game and not an MMO. See, that I think that's where a lot of people, like a lot of individuals who think of an MMO should not be solo, right? And I just do not agree with this statement. I just don't. Like, I'm sorry, I just do not agree with this statement at all. Like, why do you think these gaming companies have solo elements into it? If they didn't, no one would play, right? Or you wouldn't have as big of a gamer base, right? Yeah, I just do not agree with that. I do think you need to have both good blends, solo and group, right? But just strictly saying like, oh, go play a single player game, like no. That I like the world that I'm playing in to be alive, immersive, and if I ever want to play group content, then I can, right? Like I just do not agree with this statement. I'm sorry, I just don't. Hopefully one day we see a nice MMO without theme park, more sandbox and PvP focus where you can do what you like. I feel like BDO, Black Desert Online, does a really good job of kind of like having the option of allowing you to do whatever you want, right? Life skilling, PvP, the infamous grinding in a circle grinding spots, right? Like node wars, there's a lot of different stuff that you can kind of do, and it doesn't really hold your hand, right? Now it's the best XP hours, items, blah blah blah, slower gameplay, not this too fast gameplay like an HNS. Just play together for fun. Games should be ban all DPS meters and such crap. It's not. I do kind of agree with that. I don't like DPS meters. I don't know. Like I think how Final Fantasy, where they don't have the DPS meters, I think that's fine, because again, it just creates that toxic atmosphere of like, oh, you suck at this class, like why aren't you keeping up and all this other stuff. And it's just like dude, just chill. It's a game. Like we're just trying to have fun. Like I'm just trying to relax and play something that I enjoy, right? Like I don't have to be the 0.1% of the population, right? We just don't manage to align each other's time and interest anymore. I think we all wish we could play together, but we all realize it's wishful thinking. Once in a blue moon, we'll hook up on the same game with more or less similar schedules of when we play for a month or two, but sadly, that's it. Yep. Almost play everything solo nowadays. Back in the prime WoW days, there was a few of us, but I'm the last man standing. Personally, quit like doing stuff myself. Actually met one of my best mates in WoW guild about 15 years ago. That's a very, very long post. I'm sorry, person, but I'm not going to read all of that. Sorry. I want to be a part of a group that plays daily or nearly daily, but I want the option to opt in and out as necessary. Some days I want to play, some I do not, and it's never fixed at the same days or the same times. Unfortunately, this way of thinking isn't conducive to finding a group. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like me, like especially like with Node Wars, where it's kind of like, well, like I don't want to commit to something because I just don't have the schedule to do that. But having the option where you can kind of opt in and opt out, I think is so important. And they're definitely, not only BDO, but other games too. If you play other MMOs, right, there's usually guilds out there that are more casual and that has kind of that option of, whatever it may be, if it's PvP or dungeons or whatever it is, being able to kind of opt in or opt out. You just got to find that group of people. Social anxiety, introvert means it's hard for me to play with others. After a bout of depression a few years ago, I just preferred playing alone. Playing alone means I can do the content I want when I want. Same as in real life. I'm quite selfish and don't like sharing my time with others. Want to do my thing all the time. Yeah, I mean it's a fair point. I like the illusion of not being alone in the world. Yep. I definitely think that's one of the top aspects for me too. When I solo, it's mostly because playing with others typically involves them telling how your build should be made, how you should be playing your character. I don't want to play my own character another person's way, so I stick to myself. I find MMO communities in general to be rather toxic in that regard. When I find chill people with similar mindsets to play with, I will but I won't choose to put myself in a position where others are trying to dictate how I play. Yeah, I think that's very, very, very good point this person made. Me personally, I don't really care. Like I'm kind of like that person where it's like, if there's more efficient or better way, like I would love to like know, right? And then I, kind of decide for myself if I want to do that or not. But I never like shun people, right? I kind of like, especially like when I'm streaming, like backseaters. Like I love backseating people where like they're just helping out, and I really, really appreciate that. And it's one of those things. But I can definitely understand how where like especially PvP and like you're not playing a meta class and your teammates are like, dude, why are you not playing a meta class? Like stop griefing me type of thing. Like I can understand that. I don't like to schedule my time around a raid or progressing content. The social grouping side of it leans more towards drop in, drop out at my leisure. I'm way more inclined to play with others. Yeah. I feel like I'm kind of like that too. The social side is more community driven rather than forced group raiding. I'm way more willing to be social. Another reason I play solo is because I like to chip away at a character that will always be part of an ongoing world with new updates and expansions. Yep, I agree. To reiterate, I don't like to schedule my evening around raiding or mythic plus progression type games. Some nights I don't feel like playing because of a long work week. Speak the truth. Speak the truth. Whew. Sometimes I'll only play in the mornings. Hey, look, we got another morning person here. Other way around for me, now it's rare to see solo players in MMOs. Wait, what? It's rare to see solo players in MMOs? I guess it depends on what MMO you're playing. Usually you see everyone in some Discord comms or grouping up to do simple quests. I used to love MMOs where you could grind solo or quest solo without being faced with 1v1, 1v3 or 1v5 situations. Then getting shunned for not having friends. This happens a lot in Dota 2, team game, blah, blah. You can certainly play lots of MMO solo, but it won't get you far. For example, WoW Retail, I can't find a guild that raids like a vanilla WoW guild would. Yeah, I think it just depends on the MMO you're probably playing. Like Throne and Liberty, I couldn't really get into that game for very long. I played it for a few weeks, kind of realized what it was, and it's like, nope, not the game for me. But that game really, focuses on group play, guild activities. And I think, don't get me wrong, I think that's great. But I wish there was a little bit more of a solo aspect to it as well. Not saying you can't play the game solo, because you can, but in terms of progression your character, you're going to have a much easier time progressing your character playing in a group, being in an active guild, than not being in one at all. Seems everyone has private groups doing mythic dungeons or raids, rated PvP as well. Most MMOs are centered around grouping. The last MMO I played that was solo friendly is Black Desert Online. My main MMO. Yep. Which I did again I did make a video on BDO being a solo friendly type of game, because groups have become unnecessary, redundant, trivialized, and ruin the pacing of pretty much every modern online game, since you can just blaze through it whenever. Said content doesn't force you to play in a group. Gone are the days where groups were optional but ideal for content that would leave a player feeling daunted regardless. Now they're just like a school field trip at Busch Gardens. All right, guys, let's get on the school bus. We're going to Busch Gardens. Let's go ride the Scooby-Doo roller coaster. Is there a Scooby-Doo roller coaster at Busch Gardens? I don't know. It's been many years. Plus, I get motion sick, so I can't ride roller coasters or any type of crazy spinning mechanical contraption, because I get sicker than a dog. Anyway, putting aside my personal preferences, my friends generally don't play these, or in some cases anything else anymore, so I'd have to make new friends to play with friends, and most of the games these days don't actually facilitate that. Well, I think you have to just kind of go out of your way and just join a guild. People are awful and getting worse. I cannot fathom being a school teacher like in middle school in today's age. Could not do it. I mean, gosh, with technology, the phones, social media, TikTok, whew, mm, kids aren't getting disciplined. It's on a whole nother level. I do have my personal preferences and my own life circumstances, which complicates it further. Yeah. I like playing in a world that feels alive around me. I enjoy grouping and open world content, but speedrun type dungeons and overly mechanic intense group stuff isn't my playstyle, especially these days when patience is at an all-time low. Yep, our attention spans so much lower. Yes, it's got to be done right now and then. I'm older and I do not have a lot of time to dedicate. I like to play at my own pace as it's more enjoyable that way for me. Because my friend who liked playing a MMO with me stopped liking the MMO and now just plays whatever. However, I still want to play an MMO, so I'm trying to find one I like and can make friends in. Shame my tastes in gameplay aren't compatible with current MMOs. You know, it's so funny that this point this person makes, because like I was a big Call of Duty guy back in middle school, high school, and then one of my best friends introduced me to World of Warcraft. And man, like I would like just the whole open world, the exploration, the ability to do all these different activities, progress your character, get cool armor. Like it was such a cool experience. And like me and my best friend, like that's all we did. Like he would come over on the weekends, after school, and literally we would just sit there and play World of Warcraft for like all weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And, it was a blast. And then, yeah, that just kind of withered away. And my best friend, like he still plays World of Warcraft, right? However, me, like I play Black Desert Online. And so he doesn't like Black Desert Online. And I can't really get into playing World of Warcraft anymore because of just the combat and like the graphics. Like once you play BDO and you get just a taste of the combat and the world of BDO and like the graphics of BDO, like it's just so hard to go back to World of Warcraft. And so it's kind of funny because it's kind of like the opposite for me. I kind of left World of Warcraft, even though my friend is still playing it like decades later, right? So it's just crazy. It's so crazy. Stupid BDO and its combat and graphics. Gosh, like if World of Warcraft, like I wish there was a way to like blend World of Warcraft and BDO together. Like they had just had a kid and you had BDO's graphics, BDO's combat, and BDO. Like I like grinding in a circle. Weird, I know, but something about that is just kind of relaxing. So like if you could just have like those elements that I like of BDO, like the PvP, the grinding aspect, but also the World of Warcraft elements, like the raids, the dungeons, all of those, the lore, the questing, all of those different things, and just combine it. Like take all the good elements of WoW and take all the good elements of BDO and just combine it. Ooh, that would be a amazing game. Amazing game. Group content became too hard. It made people unpleasant to play with. And now I just play mostly solo. I want to enjoy the game, not work for it. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like that's why we game, right? To have fun, to, at least for me, just to have fun, to relax, de-stress a little bit, kind of just escape from the real world. And the last thing I want to do is to bring that stress back into my gaming life. The older you get, the more likely you are to have a family to attend to or other responsibilities that require your time. It's not just school, after school activities, homework anymore, especially if you have kids. Even weekends aren't safe for many adults. Yeah, so true. The role-playing aspect of MMOs used to require several roles, classes, jobs, etc. to accomplish a goal. Now many MMOs are leaning to allow for a single-player progression, which is great for me because of reason one. Yep, I 100% agree with you on that. Elitism is at an all-time high. So true. Failure used to be part of a learning and playing a game. I've never been angry, upset about a player making a mistake or 10. There's always been gamers who raged at failure from anyone, but now a single failure will have you blocked from participating with the group. That's so true. It's so toxic. It's like you have to do everything right. Right? Like I love raiding and bossing and planned group MMO activities. If I had more time or steady schedule, I would play with a dedicated group. I've been wanting to try D&D for years now, but between taking care of parents, grandparents, children, and 2 jobs, it's a little sticky. Yeah. Yeah, this person's insanely crazy busy. Wow. Parents, grandparents. Wow. I just want to relax when gaming without worrying about performing well or being interrupted. So for now, I run delves, mine with Bosco and solo Zamarok. Yeah. I think this is a really 3 good points this person made. 100%. Because my friend's PC sucks. Oh, that's funny. That's a good one. As much as I love playing with the boys, it's difficult to stick to a specific game time, especially when we're all in our 30s, some with kids, myself included. Playing solo also lets you go about it at your own pace. Yep. Very, very true. Especially for me. I'm in that same boat as well. Yep. Persistence, the world feels alive when it's full of real people. Yep. All right, probably the last one here. I prefer games you can't complete. The idea of completing a game weirdly makes me not want to play it. Playtime to cost ratio, MMOs tend to be very cheap for me. It's true. Yeah. I'd prefer to play with my mates, but they ain't into MMOs typically. Plus my schedule doesn't match much these days, so I often play alone. But I don't actually want to feel alone when playing. Yeah. I mean, that's such a good one, especially this right here. The idea of completing a game weirdly makes me not want to play it. Yeah, I feel like that really resonates, honestly. Especially like with BDO, it's like never ending, right? You can just grind infinitely as much as you want. Like you can continue to level up your character infinitely, right? Like I mean, it's gonna take you forever, but like there's never like an aspect where you can't progress your character, especially in BDO, right? So I think that's a really, really good sentence there. Yeah. And again, this one here, we've been seeing that one a lot too. I don't actually want to feel alone when playing. So just kind of having other people in that world with you. So yeah. Hey, wow. What a really cool post to kind of stumble upon and just kind of look at, dive into, look at the different perspectives. So yeah. Let me know down in the comments. Are you more of a solo player, more of a group oriented player, or maybe you like both aspects? Let me know down in the comments, but thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for the support. I hope you have a really good upcoming week or weekend or whenever it may be that you're watching this. But yeah, I will see you in the next video. Peace.